This is Rovlog. Welcome to the vibrant city of Antalya, a picturesque Turkish city colored by a long and rich history that goes all the way back to the 1st century BC. Originally named Antalya after its founder Attalus II, king of Pergamon. At his death, he gave the city to the Romans, under which it evolved and thrived. Today, it's the largest Turkish city along the Mediterranean coastline and is known to many as the gateway to the Turkish Riviera, making it one of Europe's most popular resort cities, with an estimated 14 million visitors each year. So what is it about Antalya that attracts travelers far and wide? Well, its unique location between the Taurus Mountains and the Mediterranean Sea gives it the advantage of offering something special to each visitor, no matter how varied their taste might be. You could start the day with a walk in the cobblestone streets with historical monuments, followed by a lazy midday swim in the dazzling ocean, and watch the sunset while drinking coffee on a yacht. If you find yourself there in winter, you can even add skiing to the list. Antalya's winters are mild enough to enjoy all activities all year round. But of all the wonders the region of Antalya offers, the most beautiful of all is the site of Termessos. An ancient city boasting some of Turkey's best preserved ruins, and an ideal place for hiking that will make you feel like you've traveled back in time. It was nicknamed the Eagle's Nest by Alexander the Great for its prime location, and because of his love for the region, he had his eyes set on conquering the city. But in a great irony, it was the very location he admired that was also the reason he failed to ever capture it. And thus, angered by his defeat, he reluctantly gave up and directed both his army and rage onward to Sagalassos. So impressive was the city's position, in his book, The Cities of Pamphylia and Pisidia, Polish researcher and frequent visitor to Termessos, Karol Lankoronsky wrote, "Of all the cities of Pisidia which we have visited, Termessos has the most peculiar and the greatest position. It is at the same time a watchtower commanding a distant view and a nest buried deeply in a valley, surrounded by a ring of mountains. If its inhabitants indulged in brigandage, they could not find a better hiding place than in this eagle's nest." Situated atop the spectacular Gulluk Mountains at an altitude of 1,000 meters, the city was inhabited by a warlike Pisidian people who named themselves Solimi, after the Anatolian god Solimos, who was a bearded warrior hero thought to be the son of Zeus, and whom the people not only worshipped, but had his image, in helmet and armor, represented on their coins. In order to get to the Termessos ruins, you can take a car or taxi up the mountain through the Gulluk Mountain National Park to where the ruins begin. The road to the ruins is long and winding and originally built by the city's old inhabitants. It's a 9-kilometer journey to the car park that's located in front of the city's entrance. Once you arrive, you can begin your trek by heading left into Necropolis, meaning City of the Dead. And here you will find cemeteries and small rock tombs where you can visit and admire their richly decorated sarcophagi. Or you could head right, where you'll come upon the well-preserved Hadrian's Gate, resembling a doorway on top of a few stairs. These stairs lead to the Temple of Artemis, found behind Hadrian's Gate, which has now been reduced to an assortment of blocks. Following this path will take you to the Western Necropolis, filled with more impressive and ornate rock tombs. Most notably is the tomb of Alcides, a general who was challenged to war by Antigonus Monophthalmos, the successor to Alexander the Great. Alcides sought protection from the people of Termessos, who gave it to him, but after a few months, the elders of the city decided to hand him over to Antigonus, who by now had established his military base at the foot of the mountain. Alcides, afraid of his inevitable death and not wanting the dishonor of being killed by his enemy, took his own life. The elders then gave his body to Antigonus, whose army spent 3 days defiling before they departed, leaving his body unburied. It was the youth of Termessos who honored him by building a tomb, resting on a rock wall in the highlands. Above his tomb is the carving of him on horseback that's still miraculously visible despite decades under harsh natural elements. Hiking further upwards, you'll reach the Colonnade Street, which is a part of the upper city and once a thriving center of politics and commerce. You can still see the remains of engraved posts, fragments of a sewer system, and even broken columns. Standing among these relics, you can see the old bath and gymnasium below. Continuing left of the Colonnade Street and towards the theater, you will see a massive stone wall approximately 10 meters high and part of the city's boletarian, or meeting place of the city council, a structure still excellently preserved. Please note that further exploration here is prevented as the interior is covered in rubble. But Austrian researchers made a fascinating discovery, finding that beneath the layer of rubble was not only a well-preserved row of seats, but fragments of colored marble, which tells us that the interior walls of the building used to be decorated by multicolored mosaics. Also near the boletarian is a wide open space called the Agora, or what used to be the city's bustling open-air marketplace. Undoubtedly, the most magnificent sight among the ruins is the Termessos Theater. It lies east of the Agora and is surrounded by gorgeous mountain peaks and breathtaking views of the countryside. This theater, built in the Hellenistic era, could accommodate 4,200 people in its auditorium. During the Roman era, the theater was expanded to include a scena behind the stage and a vault that leads out of the theater. By now, you would have noticed that temples can be seen all around the boletarian. Sadly, as not much research has been done on the city apart from Artemis, it's not known exactly which other gods were worshipped in these temples. But researchers speculate that Solomon Zeus might have been one other deity exalted in this way. In the midst of these temples, you'll come across the ruins of other lesser-known and unnamed buildings, a huge water cistern, as well as a heroon, which is a hero's tomb, although the identity of the hero has never been discovered. You can wrap up your hike by stopping at Founder's House, an ancient Roman-style house that's now a pile of stones, and as you may have guessed, was built for the founder of the city. Spending some time among the remains of a bygone city can leave you wondering how a well-protected city with fierce and brave citizens who had a flourishing economy just ceased to exist. Tragedy struck Termessos when it was hit by an earthquake that crushed its aqueduct, irreversibly destroying its water supply and rendering it uninhabitable. The exploration of the ruins takes about 4 hours, so make sure you have enough water to get you through, as there are no facilities around. And while the hike is pleasant enough, it can be rocky in parts, so ensure you're wearing your most comfortable sneakers. We hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to our channel for more. Stay tuned. It was a Rovlog presentation.